Tommy Lee Jones. Let's go home. Wesley Snipes.
Nah, you go home.
Give me a reason. I've been trying.
Yeah. I might go crazy, I might go MJ back in the 80s, back in the 90s, I might go off, or they better not try me, it might get dicey. I ain't trying to go back to the old me, I'm trying to hang on like my mama told me.
Tony, you don't have to do that to me, Tony. Tony, please. Who's gonna take care of my kids?
You don't have any kids, asshole.
I'll start.
Hey, don't worry about it, Julius. Nobody's gonna miss you. Do it. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
What? Huh?
You might miss the heart. You aim between the eyes, that way you get a nice, even spray.
The hell? Who the are you?
I'm Maximilian. A connoisseur of death, you might say. But no one seems to take pride in the art anymore. It's so rare you come across a clean kill nowadays.
Well, you got 2 seconds to beat it, Eggplant. You're gonna share a coffin with Carl Lewis here.
Oh, I already have a coffin of my own. Come on.
Hey, he's no fun. He fell right over. Some wackos in this town.
Hey, let's get back to you, Julius.
I guess you out of bullets, huh, man?
No, I kept one special just for you.
Interesting. I've been stabbed, and I've been hanged, and I've been burned. Even broken on the rack once, but I've never been shot before. Kind of itches a little.
Right, Vampire in Brooklyn. Not a usual like Eddie Murphy type movie in the sense that there's not a bunch of comedy up in here. The film was directed by Wes Craven, who's known for doing the Scream movies. I've seen the first two. I don't like how the second one opened up, but I do like the first Scream movie. That was a pretty good horror flick. And he did Nightmare on Elm Street, which I've not seen yet. Also in this movie, besides Eddie Murphy, Alan Payne was up in here. Also Kadeem Hardison and the late great John Witherspoon. John Witherspoon was really the comedy MVP of this movie. Kadeem Hardison was cracking jokes up in here, but John Witherspoon's humor worked the best.
All right, come on, nephew. I'm gonna get you out of here, too.
I ain't going nowhere. My homie's in there, man. He taking care of me.
Taking care of you?
Yeah.
Have you seen yourself lately, man? Come on, man. Let's get the hell out of here.
Do that.
Man, look at this. Look at this.
Mom,
He taking care of you?
you put that back on.
Now you're the fugitive.
I ain't
Come on, man. Let's get the hell out of here.
Well, put that back on. This my I need this man.
There was one particular moment that I found hilarious, kind of later in the movie, where Alan Payne's character is kind of in his feelings, and John Witherspoon is just cracking some jokes. Like, there's some melodramatic music playing in the background, and John Witherspoon just does not care. He's like, let me crack these jokes. Pretty funny. To quote, I don't want to ruin the moment, but I'll say it did involve the word booty. Look out for that one. It was pretty funny. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon, for real. Comedy legend. Alright, so the actual movie, you have Eddie Murphy, who plays Maximilian, a vampire who's awakened and arrives in Brooklyn. And he's looking for this woman, played by Angela Bassett, who can help him unlock his full vampire powers. Also, he's just kind of lonely. You know, he wants some companionship. He turns Kadeem Hardison's character into his personal ghoul, kind of like almost like a servant. You know, they don't make it too demeaning in terms of stuff he has to do, but parts of his body do fall off. A little bit of body horror there. They didn't go as nasty as they could have gone with it, but some of the stuff was a little bit gross, like he loses like an ear. Yeah, you know, vampire movie.
So what's up? You gonna be sucking my neck?
Why would I do that? You're my ghoul now. I need you to help me find a woman.
A woman? Oh, well, you came to the right spot, man. I mean, Brooklyn is full of hoes.
Not interested in your hoes. I'm looking for a special woman. One of my kind, the only one like her in the world. And as I come to her, she'll soon come to me like a moth to a flame.
Oh, so you checking for a vampster bitch, huh?
Half vampire. And she's ignorant of it.
So Angela Bassett, I do remember Angela Bassett's character's name was Rita. Her and Alan Payne's character, they're two cops who are investigating all the crazy stuff happening in Brooklyn that happens to involve Eddie Murphy's Maximilian character. And that's pretty much the whole plot of the movie. Maximilian's trying to get with this woman. Oh, and also there's a little bit of a love triangle element involved, because Alan Payne's character kind of has feelings for Angela Bassett's character Rita a little bit. But he's, you know, they're work partners though, so you know that could be, you know, if you've dealt with a situation where you're kind of feeling for someone you work with, yeah, you know, you want to keep things professional in the workplace.
But what about your dreams, Rita? Your dreams of another life, in another world, another you.
Everyone has those sorts of dreams.
The ending almost felt a little bit colorist, almost. Not full on compared to some other stuff I've seen, but I just wanted to point that out real quick. That's my little conspiracy of the week. Sometimes Eddie Murphy's vampire powers are a little bit confusing. Like, I think he could turn into like a dog, this like, you know, hellhound, you know, rabid, beast-looking thing, like kind of the Baskervilles kind of.
Looks something like that right there.
What, the wolf?
The wolf.
Hell no, that didn't look like that's a true owl compared to the mother come at me. You must be crazy. You seen the wolf man?
Yeah.
To the 25th power.
And there's one very funny part with his powers, though. He explodes a dog. So yeah, beware pet lovers. He messes with a dog and a cat. Now this movie came out. Sorry, a car in the background. Now this movie did come out a year before The Nutty Professor. As we know, Eddie Murphy played the whole Clump family pretty much in there, except the little kid. He does a similar thing in this movie, but it doesn't quite work to a comedic effect as it did in The Nutty Professor. He plays a preacher, and I don't know what was going on with the costume design for the preacher, but it looked like he just took a whole like bottle of Vaseline and rubbed it all over his skin. His skin was like super shiny. So yeah, I mean there's some cringe moments with that character too.
All right, 2 deep more seconds, son.
Preacher Paulie.
Yes, I'm Preacher Paulie, and if you've been misbehaving, Preacher Paulie's here for saving.
Well, I think that I'm beyond saving.
Oh, yes, I just want to catch Preacher before he goes in. It's still in the parking lot?
Preacher, I'm Preacher Paulie.
And also he plays this Italian dude who's saying some like casually racist stuff to Alan Payne's character, like he calls him Shaft and Mr. Tibbs, but not like you know, oh, you out here like Shaft, or Mr. Tibbs, like, you know, in like a racist way, you know what I'm talking about. And with that Italian character just saying like the kind of racist stuff, you know, you can tell it's Eddie Murphy in a costume, so it's kind of like, you know, wasn't as funny. I didn't know if he was really trying to go full humor with it, but, you know, I didn't really laugh at that.
You're turning into my best ghoul ever.
Keep those hands up, Sambo. Now get over there. Move it. Move your ass, all right?
Take my hand. That's all I got.
You take that hand, you shove it up your ass, Metal Lock. What are you, a magician? What, you got a dove in there? You give me your wallet. All your money. Come on. Come on.
Brooklyn.
Come on.
I love this place.
Oh, you holy man!
Dumbass.
Every now and again, the editing is a little bit messy in a way that makes you go like, okay, what's Craven, what you doing here? The thing that's holding this movie back to me is the tone. It doesn't quite have a comedic tone going throughout it, but, you know, it's not like Eddie Murphy's really trying to, like, scare the crap out of you or anything like that. So it's like a horror comedy hybrid, but, you know, something like Scary Movie, super politically incorrect, but it doesn't quite find a balance of that. I mean, it wasn't really going for a super goofy vibe with that. Overall, I'm gonna give the movie 2.5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was fairly entertaining, watchable, but I probably won't throw it on again, to be honest with you. If I want to watch an Eddie Murphy movie, I'm gonna watch like Coming to America or like Beverly Hills Cop, you know, one of his hits.
What did he say?
Damn anybody who doesn't glorify in his work. It's a hell of a night outside. Come on, let's do the sermon on the lawn. Come on, sister. Damn. Excuse me. The bottom line, brothers and sisters, what I'm trying to tell you tonight is that evil is necessary. Evil is necessary. Thereby, if it's necessary, evil must be good. Evil is good. That's what I think.
It must be.
Evil must be good. Let me hear y'all say it. Evil is good. That's right. Evil is good.
I hereby declare this chair the sole property of Garfield the cat.
Move it, Garfield. That's my chair.
My chair.
My chair.
My chair.
My chair.
My chair.
My chair. My chair. My chair.
My cushion.
Garfield and Friends Season 2. It takes up most of the Volume 2 box set, and a little bit of Volume 3, I think? No, it's mostly Volume 2. I'm tripping. It starts on Volume 1, and then it concludes on Volume 2. The original box set's released in the 2000s. I thought the show really found its stride in this season. Every now and again, there were a handful of kind of weaker episodes, and of course, you know, since this came out a while ago, 1989, there are a handful of, you know, kind of stereotypes here and there, or just, you know, I just look at it and say, like, if they had went and depicted a certain culture, like there's one episode where they go to China, there's another episode where they talk a little bit about ancient Egypt. I can't help but think if they had if the kids show or show had an episode like that now, they would have handled it differently. Sometimes the accents are pretty cringe, but it's not like throughout the entire season. I'll tell you specifically which episodes or which segments I didn't care for or thought were a little extra cringe here a little later on. They do a lot of fourth wall breaks.
From time to time on this show, we like to bring you something a little educational. No, don't change channels. It's not that educational.
And there are some cameo guest stars, like the U.S. Acres characters appearing in the Garfield cartoon, or the Garfield characters appearing in a U.S. Acres cartoon. I thought those moments were pretty funny. Now, I'm super biased towards this show because this show is a nostalgia trip for me. As I said in the last review for just the season 1 of Garfield and Friends, I had the Volume 1 box set. When I was in middle school, I watched that a fairly good amount. And I used to watch the show when it came on Fox Family Channel. Before it was ABC Family, before it was Freeform, which is what the channel is called now. I watched Garfield and Friends on there.
Oh, howdy, fun seekers. Okay, like, I'm not in this episode, so I asked them if they'd let me play the narrator, and they said, yeah, if I just speed along. So, can we have some flashback music and a fancy dissolve? All right, muchas gracias. Anyway, it started a couple weeks ago. I guess the best place to start is with Orson waking up, like, in the morning, okay?
Alright, since I already reviewed Season 1, I'm going to go ahead and mostly talk about some of my favorite episodes and segments from this season, what was going on with the plots, and why they were hilarious. Obviously, you know, you can watch for yourself, but I had some personal favorites from this season for sure. Episode 1 was one of my favorites, especially the last two. You have Pest of a Guest, where another cat is taking advantage of John's good nature, just like Garfield does in almost every single episode. And, you know, Garfield's like, hey, you're eating up my lasagna, you're eating up my food, you're in my bed, you gotta get up out of here. The Impractical Joker, Roy, my favorite character from the U.S. Acres group. His jokes get out of hand. Everybody's complaining about his practical jokes, and then he starts roasting Orson heavy, and Orson's like, all right, you're fired.
I wouldn't say you're fat, Orson, but when you sit around the house, you sit around the house!
Roy, that's not funny.
What do you mean, not funny? Is your funny bone broke? Everybody likes to laugh. Can't you take a joke? You're stupid and simple. There's more brains in a pimple. When you're around, I fall asleep. You good for a rock.
I thought that was a pretty good one. And then you have Fat and Fury, where John wins a lottery ticket, and him and Garfield are living that rich lifestyle. That one was hilarious, especially the talk show host, who was up in there hosting the rich people show. Right, episode 4 was another personal favorite of mine. That U.S. Acres title, Fortune Cookie, is a little cringe. Honestly speaking, though, it has one of the best songs out of all the U.S. Acres songs. As I said in the last one, I never really cared for the songs. The songs can be pretty trash, but that song was pretty catchy. And fun fact, Frank Welker, who did the voice of Fred off of Scooby-Doo and has done countless other animated voices throughout the years. He's basically a legend in the voice acting community. I wonder if he sang it. I think he does the voice of Orson. My bad, I'm getting a little mentally sidetracked. Just thinking about that song. The song was pretty catchy. I'm gonna link it a little bit.
Don't let it get to you. Don't fear the aftermath. Don't let superstitions let you pass the buck. It's not superstition or just plain luck that makes things turn out the way they do.
Then the last segment up in there, Heatwave Holiday. It's really, really hot outside, so Garfield has an idea to stay cool. And eventually, the way Garfield and John and Odie are acting, it convinces the whole town that, like, hey, maybe it's not July, maybe it's actually December. You just have to watch it to find out. I thought that one was really, really funny. Oh, and the first one in that segment, that episode, I almost forgot to mention, a sludge monster. John, Garfield, and Odie find themselves stranded in the middle of nowhere. So they stop to stay at this hotel, which has the legend of this monster known as the sludge monster. John tries to mess with Garfield and Odie and creep them out a little bit to disastrous results. Episode 11 was another favorite of mine. In the first one, John gets a lobster to cook, and it turns out the lobster's still alive, and they all befriend, John, Odie, and Garfield all befriend the lobster, my bad. And then U.S. Acres 1, No Laughing Matter, these weird alien creatures. And I just want to say real quick, if a little kid watches this, they might be creeped out by some of the alien designs. Some of the alien designs were kind of creepy looking.
And now, back to today's mediocre movie matinee presentation, Kung Fu Creatures on the Rampage 2.
You're not Sylvia. You're one of the Kung Fu Creatures on the Rampage 2.
Let's see what else is on.
These aliens come to the U.S. Acres farm and say they're going to take away all their humor, all their laughter. And, you know, of course, Orson being the leader of the group is like, no, you're not going to do that. And, you know, there's a song in there, of course. I think the U.S. Acres songs went away in season 3. But yeah, if you watch the U.S. Acres segments, there's pretty much a song in every one, season 1 and 2, with the exception of maybe like 1 or 2 episodes. And then the last one of the Garfield segment, Attack of the Mutant Guppies, another weird creature design. And I don't even want to spoil the funniest joke that's in that episode. There was a really, really funny one. Episode 9 was another good one. I can't remember off the top of my head all of the plots in that one. But Garfield, the really funny one is Garfield decides to be a stunt cat. And he learns that show business is not quite what he hoped it would be, the hard way. Overall, I'm going to go ahead and give this season 7 out of 10. Pretty good season. Once you get to season 3, I think the show's like classic animated cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon shows. Yeah, season 2 is still pretty good. And of course, I'm biased towards it because I'm nostalgic towards the show. And it's, you know, to be honest, a comfort watch for me. You know, if I'm feeling like depressed or something, I might throw on a few episodes of this show.
Roy, you shouldn't eat that corn so close to the stove when it's on. Ah, stow it, Piggo. What do you know? I know it's popcorn.
So I'm always going to be kind of biased towards this show, but if you watch it, you know, and enjoy it as much as I do, you know, let me know. Leave something in the comments. What are your thoughts on Garfield and Friends? Drop a comment if you feel like it. Alright, now I will rank every single episode from Season 2 of Garfield and Friends out of 10. Okay, I said it rounded up to about 7 out of 10, but here's my ranks for each individual episode. Episode 1, 8 out of 10. Episode 2, 7 out of 10. Episode 3, 6 out of 10. Episode 4, 7.7 out of 10. Episode 5, 7.2 out of 10. Episode 6, 7.2 out of 10. Episode 7, 7.4 out of 10. Episode 8, 6.4 out of 10. Episode 9, 7.5 out of 10. Episode 10, 7.6 out of 10. Episode 11, 7.7 out of 10. Episode 12, 7.4 out of 10. Episode 13, 7.6 out of 10. Episode 14, 7.1 out of 10. Episode 15, 7.4 out of 10. Episode 16, 7.4 out of 10. Episode 17, 7.5 out of 10. Episode 18, 7.7 out of 10. Episode 19, 7.1 out of 10. Episode 20, 6.3 out of 10. Episode 21, 6.8 out of 10. Episode 22, 6.9 out of 10. Episode 23, 7 out of 10. Episode 24, 7.2 out of 10. Episode 25, 7.6 out of 10. And episode 26, the season finale, 7 out of 10. Alright, if you want, you can just skip ahead to 1902 of this video. You can just ignore this part. I was paying attention to how the episodes were listed on YouTube and not Tubi, so I was initially right with episode 25 being a 7.6 out of 10, and the episode after that, 26, being a 7 out of 10 for the season finale. Overall, this was a very good season. I know it has to be tough to do because these episodes only aired in 1 year. It wasn't like usually with a 26 episode TV season for like a regular sitcom, you know, like a classic, you know, sitcom, you know, like Good Times of the Jeffersons or something like that. It would air from like fall into the spring. These just aired, I think, either during the fall or the spring, but just over the course of 1 year, unlike a traditional sitcom. So I know it has to be tough for them to come up with, you know, great storylines and to keep up with the animation. Every now and again, you do see animation air, especially with Lanolin. Sometimes the lips on her are messed up. Sometimes with Bo too. I also want to mention the main problematic thing, well, other than like some outdated depictions of ancient cultures or other cultures on this show. Now, the caveman stuff is kind of cringe. I'm just like, okay, that's so typical. Like, oh yeah, back in the day there were cavemen. You know, some of those aren't. I mean, it's just not fun. It's fun when they do that. It's not as funny as the other episodes. But I want to do voice a little bit of a beef. Sometimes when they animate women's boobs up on here, they're like extra accentuated, extra pointed out in a way that makes you kind of go like, okay, who in the world animated that? Like, what is going on there? Let me see if I think I have a list where all the episodes where that pops up in, but it was enough times to make me kind of raise an eyebrow. They don't do it in every single episode, not with every female character. They don't do it with Liz, the veterinarian that Garfield and Odie see that John's always trying to hit on, but they do it enough to where I'm like, okay, who's animating that? Okay, you saw that in episode 3. Episode 8, there was almost like a kind of mildly, like, is that racist moment where they had that black person animated in a certain way. It wasn't like a racist caricature or nothing like that, but it made me kind of go like, okay, what is that? Hopefully that was just an error. The animated boobs also popped up in episode 14. And then episode 16, they do a Star Trek parody, and Lanolin is edited with some like super big boobs. That was the main one, I think, where I went like, okay, what? You saw that once again in episodes 18 and 20 for a little bit, and that was about it. Oh, almost forgot to mention there were also some animated mice boobs up in episode 14. I was like, what? So yeah, with the age range, this is rated TVG on most of the stuff it's on. I would suggest, or guess the age range would be like starting at ages 10 and up, because for the most part it's not too raunchy. It doesn't do anything too inappropriate here and there, with the occasional cringe stuff that I mentioned in season 1 and the stuff here in season 2, mainly with the animated boobs. But I think this is a fairly family-friendly, safe show. Something maybe you watch with your kids first before letting them watch it on their own. So yeah, overall 7 out of 10 for season 2. Season 1 got a 6.9 out of 10. So I think season 2 is definitely better than season 1.
It's each worth millions. If he fails, he'll shatter the diamond into worthless dust. Time for absolute quiet.
Hey, Diamond Cutter! What you doing? Gee, looks like you blew it! Gee, looks like I blew it!
We'll be right back without Pinky.
The main reason it's getting 7 out of 10 is because there's so many episodes. Season 1 was only like 13 episodes, so this was 26 episodes. So that's why, after I added up all the scores together and, did the division, it's about a 7 out of 10. All right, now I'm gonna list my favorite individual segments that I like from the whole season, not necessarily the full episode. Goody Go Round, US Acres from episode 3. Binky Gets Canceled from episode 7, Garfield 1.
Hey, boss! Binky, you've been with the station a long time, and, your ratings are down. We've decided to cancel you. I'm afraid you're through. I'm fired!
Told him to take his rubber nose and his size 38 double D shoes and hit the road. Binky was upset because, he knew there weren't a lot of jobs around for clowns. He even thought of getting into politics, but of course there are too many clowns in Washington already.
The Lasagna Zone, I got a Twilight Zone parody up in there from episode 8, Garfield segment.
I want to watch a Western, pointed toward Texas.
Consider, if you will, the case of one Garfield the cat. Life for this feline consists of sleeping, eating, annoying small puppies and postal employees, eating some more, and watching anything and everything on television.
My lasagna!
A chance meeting of marinara and mozzarella, a manufacturer's warning unheeded. Now, Garfield the cat finds himself in the wrong end of that cathode ray tube. Don't touch that dial, for you're in the Lasagna Zone.
Alright, Video Victim from episode 12. John tries to get a new TV. Disastrous results happen. Binky Goes Bad from episode 15, Garfield segment there. Binky the Clown, remember Binky the Clown? Attention Getting Garfield from episode 16. I actually think I might have got the, my bad, the ones mixed up on where Garfield was the stunt cat on. Wait, no, that wasn't it, my bad. Okay, Feeling Feline, Garfield segment for episode 17. The Bear Facts, Garfield from episode 18. Crime and Nourishment, Garfield segment from episode 19. TV of Tomorrow from episode 20, Garfield segment there. Invasion of the Big Robots, Garfield segment from episode 21. That one's hilarious. Garfield wakes up and finds himself in the wrong cartoon. Mystic Manor, Garfield from episode 23. Cock-a-Doodle, Dandy, I think that was the full one. From U.S. Acres, episode 24, the U.S. Acres segment in episode 24. Video Airlines from episode 25. That might make you nostalgic for blockbusters and Hollywood videos, so beware if you like to cry watching stuff. And then The Male Animal from episode 26. I'm not going to ruin the joke up in there because there was a joke that made me literally bust out laughing. Also, real quick, one thing I didn't mention in season 1 is Garfield, so he thinks, or he doesn't move his mouth when he talks.
Billions of bytes of data is ready to construct the ultimate joke, a true example of humor for the 21st century. Here it comes, the joke of the future. In short, humor of the future will be pretty much like humor of today. Thank you.
It works most of the time on the show, but every now and again, someone will act like they can understand him. Some episodes you're gonna be like, how can they understand Garfield? That is a tiny bit of a plot hole you see from time to time. I also wonder why Abu Dhabi was always the destination for where Garfield wanted to build normal. I don't necessarily think it's a racist thing. I think it's just because it's far away from where they're supposed to be. I think somewhere in Illinois, but why Abu Dhabi? I just kind of wonder why.
Ugly wolf person! No more will you terrorize poor, defenseless grandma!
Nay. And all the time, the witch who lived there watched them eating her out of house and home. She was delighted because she was looking forward to cooking them.
Who's there? If this is a crank call, we just got a distress call.
I think there's... Yes!
Don't be a chicken, be a turtle, instead remember. Help! I'm under a turtle.
She figured if he thinks he's a chicken, hatch him like a chicken. Come on, Wade, there's nothing to fear. No point in going insane.
Yes, master.
Alright, thank you for tuning in to another episode of AAC Show. 2.5 out of 5 stars for Vampire in Brooklyn. 7 out of 10 for Garfield and Friends Season 2. Next up, I got Cheech and Chong. The first 2 movies they did, Up in Smoke, and Cheech and Chong's next movie to coincide with the 420 a little bit. I will be watching these sober. I will mention that. I smoked a lot of weed back in college, so I definitely saw these for the first time up in college. So it'll be interesting to watch these with a sober mind. Once again, thank you for watching. Like this video if you like this video. Subscribe for more AAC show to not miss an episode. Mondays at 11 p.m. And I got something new coming up called Risky Watch, where I look at a critically unacclaimed movie or TV show or something that was kind of controversial. That's going to be Fridays at 11:30 p.m. starting April 26th. And also Garfield and Friends Season 3 review. That will be up in about a month. I'm going to coincide that with the release of the new Garfield movie coming out, I think, May 22nd or something like that. I'm going to do also Garfield Tale of Two Kitties, which I thought was better than the first Garfield live-action movie they did, which was just terrible. Even when I was like 7 or 8 years old, however old I was when I watched that, I did not like the movie. Anyway, have a blessed one, y'all.